Today is Monday, the 15th, and the last video that you saw, or that you might have saw, there's me assuming that you've seen every video on this channel. The last video that was uploaded to this channel that you may or may not have seen was me doing my first run and getting back up to speed with things and starting a new runner plan. And the whole plan from that point onwards was to start it last week, from Monday the 8th or whatever it was, or that week beginning. That didn't happen for a number of reasons. I will bore you with, I won't bore you with the details, but my daughter got quite unwell throughout the week, and then we and my girlfriend had a long weekend away, which kind of slipped my mind but didn't slip my mind, so I thought let's just kind of push everything back to today, which is Monday the 15th, and we've got 4 weeks until the 10k, so we've kind of missed a week. In fact, I've actually missed 2 weeks, because if you haven't seen it, even if you have a slight refresher, when I started the runner plan last week, I done it on the video. It says, oh, you've got 5 weeks to the run. We normally recommend that you do 6 weeks. And I was like, okay, that's fine, whatever. It's maybe just a bit of a warning. It did give me 6 weeks, but it gave me like a previous week. And I don't know if it was like, this would have been your first week, but you've kind of missed it now, but this is what we would have recommended, sort of thing. So I've technically missed 2 weeks of this new plan, but again, I say it's only a 10k compared to other longer runs. It should be fine. Again, I'm not going to struggle, or I'm not worried about doing the run. I'm just, the aim for this training period and my actual goal in the day is to try and cut down my time as much as possible to get it to roughly about 55 or in between 50 and 55 minutes. If it's over, that's fine. If it's under, even better, not a problem. But that's the main goal of it. But again, due to unforeseen circumstances, I couldn't do a week. So I'm going to incorporate those 2 missed runs into the next 2 weeks. So let's do that now, actually. Where's my... Right, this is the runner plan that I've got. So as you can see here, this was week 2. And again, I missed completely week 1, which, I would have had to have went back in time. But I missed a 6.5 kilometre progressive long run and a 400 metre repeat for 5. I did do that National Lottery. Maybe today is my day. I did do that lunch run on Sunday the 7th, which was counted, which is fine. And then week 2 would have been the first week technically of this new plan. So I moved the 7.5, if you remember, from the Monday to the Wednesday, since I started on a Monday, but I started a bit later. But again, that kind of didn't really happen. So now we're here. We are on week 3, which is today supposed to be a 9 kilometre block long run, which I don't know what a block long run is. 2.5 at conversational pace, 5 at 6:25. That's fine, I will do that later on today, but the point of this is I kind of want to show you the benefits of how easy run it is to use if you haven't used it already. So I've missed these 2 runs. I could just write those runs off if I wanted, but I kind of want to do those runs. I want to get as much practice in as I possibly can. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to take the 7.5 kilometre run that I missed on Wednesday, and I'm going to move it to this Wednesday. Now, it will say that, it does say, they recommend leaving 2 days in between long runs. That's fine. I could maybe move this 1 kilometre repeat to Saturday, then move this to Thursday. That'll kind of tidy that up quite nicely, which is decent. And then I'm going to take this progressive run and I'm going to move it to the following week, which I can't do that yet because I'm not on that week. That's fine. That's not a problem. Let's just move it here, shall we? Not here. Let's move it here. So apparently I've got 4 runs in 1 week, which is this week. That's not going to be the case. That's absolutely fine. But I'm going to move those to week 4 when I can. But yeah, I've moved them forward. If I get through all 4 this week, excellent. I'll leave them in as they are at the minute. If I don't, that's not a problem. But the first run today is a 9 kilometre block long run, which I'm going to do. And you're going to see at some point, in the next part of this video, and there will be short form for each of the runs that I do as well. So again, apologies that this is a little bit late. A week later, we're going to have 4 weeks of sort of vlogging training for this run, then there's going to be a video for the actual 10 kilometre as well, and then what happens after that we've yet to be seen. There is a very fun run happening in central London that I can kind of do at any point, which is nice, between now and the end of June, I believe. So I'll either incorporate that as part of this vlog or part of the training plan, or I will make a separate video on it. It's really quite fun. It's a Strava group, it's about Sonic the Hedgehog, it's really great, but I'll do that as and when I've got time. That's probably going to be next week. But yeah, just thought I'd check in, start the video off properly. Again, Monday the 15th, let's do some running, everyone. Yeah. Also, Scotland won our first World Cup game in 38 years, roughly give or take, 36 years, roughly give or take. So yeah, I'm delighted. I'm over the moon. Was it scrappy? Yes, but a win's a win, and we're top of the table, top of the league. I was going to say, but top of the table. Anyway, feeling feeling really pumped, which is good. Anyway, running. Point of the video, running. Today is Friday, the 19th, and I've not been out a single run as of yet. So I think I had 3, if not 4 planned for this week, with the 2 left over from week 2. But things just got in the way. My first run was planned for Wednesday. And I just had the worst migraine in the planet. I planned to go out for my lunch at work. I was kind of a little bit sluggish and not really motivated in the morning, but I thought by the time lunch gets here, it'll be fine. And then by the time lunch got here, I had a sore head. It was very painful. And then I just had the worst migraine for the remainder of the day. Yesterday was a bit of a bounce back recovery day, which was a bit annoying. And on top of that, if I'm being honest, even though I'm supposed to be, this is the first video and the first long form, and I'm training for this 10K, I've just been a little bit demotivated. But today is Friday, the sun is shining, probably a little bit too much for my tastes, which is fine. And I've had, the Do Hard Things playlist on, and I've been listening to quite a lot of Scotland World Cup songs. And today, for context, to sort of ground this moment in time, it is the Scotland-Morocco game later on this evening, which I will be attending. Attending a watch party in London. So I'm feeling quite pumped and I'm feeling quite motivated, which is nice. And I feel like today is a very good time to get the first run done. And I'm not gonna worry about the leftover stuff from week 2. If I can get round to it at some point, excellent. I've technically missed the first run of this week, or the actual run that it's supposed to be. So I'm going to try and move that to tomorrow or Sunday, which is Father's Day. What my girlfriend and my daughter have planned for me, I don't know, but I'm going to try and do that over the course of the next 2 days. But today is it's going to be the 1 kilometre repeats for 7.5 kilometres. So there'll be a thing up on screen here. I'm not going to screen record, but what that means is I do 2 kilometres at conversational pace, which is no faster than 6:40 a kilometre. And if you've watched any of my content before, you'll know that I struggle running at a slower pace because subconsciously I just want to get there faster, something I need to work on. So I'm going to try my very best to run at this pace. 90-second walking rest at that point, and then for 4 repeats I do 1 kilometre at 5:35 or between 5:25 and 5:45, which is the pace that I usually try and run at, with a 90-second walking rest after each kilometre. So that should be fine, that should be grand. I do need to go to the bank at lunchtime, which I've plotted a rough 7.5 kilometre route all in, give or take. Which will probably leave me quite sweaty by the time I get there, but needs must. I need to get the run done, I need to get things going, and I'm feeling again quite motivated and quite happy. I don't really like the heat, as you may have gathered or guessed, or what I've maybe told you in these videos in the past, but I feel like I need to start learning how to run in the heat. So I've been hydrating all morning. I'm going to hydrate for the next work call that I've got, and then I'm going to do my run within the next hour, or start my run within the next hour, and then I'm going to take a nice bottle of water with me and then hydrate throughout the way and on the way back as well. So it could be a bit of a steep learning curve. I could completely wipe myself out, I don't know, but I'm going to try and do it as best as I can, and just stay hydrated the entire time. So that's the goal for today. But yeah, the first run is a 7.5 kilometre, 1 kilometre repeats. I'll maybe check in at the end when I've finished it, but again, there will be short form for each of the runs as well. So yeah, a little bit behind, even more so than before. But yeah, today will be the first run of the week, the first run of the plan, and then over the next couple of days will be the long run, which I believe is a 9 kilometre run. I need to check the weather. I'm not sure what day is going to be cooler over Saturday and Sunday, or if it's going to be warmer than today. I think it's getting a high of 28 at some point as well, so yeah, quite high. As a Scotsman, I really need to be careful. It can really wipe us out overall. Anyway, going to start the run today. Thought I'd check in. I'm feeling motivated. I'm feeling quite good. And again, if you want to listen to the Do Hard Things playlist, it will be in the description. And if you want to join the running club that I've started on Strava, that will also be in the description below as well, where all the runs go that I do for hopefully ever. Anyway, let's get on with the run. Run finished, and it was only 5.1 kilometre. I've cut it 2.5 short for 3 main reasons. Well, it was way harder than I thought all up, but I think the first reason is that I've just kind of fallen off the wagon a little bit in terms of both exercise and my diet. My diet is quite bad at the minute, so I need to turn that around more so than anything else. But yeah, my fitness is kind of taking a nosedive. I've only done 2 runs since the half marathon, so that's to be expected and a bit naive on my part. 2, I've not had my lunch yet and I am very hungry. It kind of hit me halfway around the run that I was hungry and a little bit weak and a little bit tired. Poor planning on my part, skill issue that I've came across time and time again. Maybe one day I will learn. But 3, and this is going to sound so silly and so obvious to many, many people out there, but the heat is terrible.
28 degrees, which some people relish in, some people think is cold. For me, that is a peak summer day. And yeah, it completely wiped me out about halfway round. After the 2 kilometres conversational pace, then I stopped. I think the stopping was more of a detriment than a positive. But yeah, the heat really takes you out you, man. So yeah, but it's good practice, it's good endurance, it's good conditioning, if you like, for running in the heat. But if the actual 10k in 3 weeks is anything like this, then the run is going to be scuffed. Regardless though, I've done the run, I'm happy with it. I'm going to tick it off as part of the plan, but not the 7.5 kilometres. But yeah, overall, happy that I've actually, set off at a walking pace, but much work to be done. That's not even correct grammar, but yeah, lots of work to be done. And yeah, I'll do the next run either tomorrow or Sunday, and depending on the heat/weather, it might be an indoor treadmill run. We'll wait and see. But yeah, first run done, albeit a bit scuffed, but happy. My little water bottle is so hot, it's I would drink a cup of tea at this temperature. And that's not even an exaggeration, I would genuinely drink a cup of tea at this temperature. It is roasting outside.
Hello everyone, it's Monday, it is the 22nd of June, and we're at the end of the first week of the training plan for the 10k, and I'm going to come out and say it, it's not went incredibly well. So like I kind of chatted about, I missed like the first 2 weeks of the plan due to a bunch of different reasons. And then my thought process was like, okay, so it's 2 runs a week. I can move those other 2 runs into this week and try and get through 4 this week at a stretch goal sort of thing, but at least do the 2 that you've got. That didn't happen. So as you just saw, I'd done the run on Friday. It was 28 degree heat, which is absolutely fine for some of you. For me, it is horrendous. I had to cut the run short by 2.5 kilometres just due to the overwhelming heat and the other reasons that I kind of brought up and factored in about kind of falling off the wagon and, not being prepared. It's fine, these things happen, that's not a problem, it's absolutely fine to adjust what you can and can't do. You don't want to overstretch it, you don't want to do things that are going to make you injured or ill or whatever it is. So that was fine, and then yesterday at the time of recording was Father's Day. So I had a lovely time with my family, which was good. I did plan on doing the second of the scheduled runs for those weeks. So the Monday run should have been a 9k, I believe, if memory serves. I was going to do it yesterday towards the end of the day. And I don't know what happened, but yesterday my hip/side has just completely went. It's my left one specifically. It's been incredibly sore. I was just sitting in the back garden for, a little bit and having a nice time with the family and the sun and all that good stuff. Got a little bit sore. I don't know if I just kind of twisted it weird the way I was sitting throughout the rest of the day. Got sore last night when I was trying to sleep, and just before bed it was incredibly painful, so I had to take some painkillers for it. And I've woken up this morning and it's a bit sore again as well. It's getting a little bit better, a little bit more manageable as the day goes on. I don't know if it's because I've warmed up a little bit and I'm using it more and I'm walking about more or whatever it is, but it kind of put me out of action. So, the Cliff Notes version, the TDLR, is that this week, or the end of this week, or the week that you're just watching, has not went to plan. And that's fine. It's fine and it's not fine. It's not fine because the plan wasn't adhered to, but it's also fine because these things happen. They come in the way. And it is a massive wake-up call in terms of where I am on my running journey and my fitness. And like I kind of mentioned at the end of the run on Friday, I didn't realise just how much my fitness dipped between the half marathon and now. I'd done the half marathon, I'd done it to, I exceeded the expectations I had for myself. And then I'd done 2 runs in between then and now. What else am I going to expect? So yeah, this run hasn't quite went to plan, or this week hasn't quite went to plan. But that's fine, it's given me a bit of a kick up the arse in terms of, right, okay, you're learning about running, you're learning about getting better at it, you're learning about all these different elements and angles of actually trying to get better at running. Taking 6+ weeks off is obviously going to have a detrimental, impact to that. But how detrimental I never really considered until now. But that's fine, it's a learning curve, and I'll take this lesson forward as I aim higher and further in terms of my running goals and aspirations. So yeah, it's fine, these things happen, I've learned from it, and they will be applied moving forward. So I've not recorded the intro to week 2 yet, but I'll record it pretty much immediately after this. So if you're watching this, then it'll be the exact same frame and everything. So hello, I'll see you soon. But the first 2 weeks that I've missed, so the first week that I actually missed because I was like 5 weeks instead of 6 weeks, and then that actual first week, if you like, that went wrong, I'm cutting those loose. That's fine, that's not a problem. I'm not going to try and catch up because there's no point. It's just going to be overwhelming and a bit too much. So I'm going to start this week as well intended. Again, my hip's a little bit sore, so I'll talk about it more in the intro moving forward. And we are expecting a stupidly high heat wave in the UK, specifically in London or the southeast this week. So I'm going to talk about that as well, but it has made a few adjustments and a few changes to my running plans for the week. It's going to be too much to run outside, so yeah, we'll see what that's going to happen. But I'm going to shift the one leftover run from this week into next week. So I'll do 3 runs next week, or at least that's the plan. Hip, heat, considered, and we'll go from there. And then from that, there's only 2 weeks inclusive. It's quite a lot of time, quite a lot of stuff to fit into not a lot of time, but it's fine. We're moving forward. Anyway, thank you for being with me this week. Thank you for watching the first training running vlog back. There was one run and it was underwhelming and I cut it short. But again, this channel is designed to document my running journey over the course of how long it takes me to get from where I am to where I need to be and then stop or whatever it is. And it's all lessons to be learned. There's going to be highs, there's going to be lows, peaks and troughs, anything, everywhere else in between. So thank you for watching and thank you for the support all the same. Every time I upload a video, there is new subscribers coming in, there's new engagements in terms of lovely comments and all that sort of stuff. So thank you if you're one of those people that are very generous and very nice and very considerate. It's lovely to chat and it's lovely to hear about your running journey and your running woes and everything else in between as well. Again, if you want to see the short form for the run that I've done on Friday, that is already up in the channel by the time you're watching this. So if you want to check that out, you're more than welcome to do so. But it's pretty much the same content as you've seen here. But if you want to see a bit more fun angles and stuff, then you can check that out. Next Sunday or a week from now will be week 2 of the running plan. And there's going to be, again, hopefully, at least 3 runs in between there as well. So there's going to be 3 additional short forms and just more running content in the actual running vlogs. And I'll talk about what I'm going to do and what I'm going to change moving forward. And then after that, there's only 2 weeks until the 10k. Again, I know it's only a 10k, so it's not the end of the world. It's not another half marathon or even a full marathon or anything more. But it's a nice reminder to be consistent and not give up as much as possible. Or be complacent. That's a better word for it. Be complacent. Anyway, if you're new here, you're more than welcome to subscribe. You can follow all the links down below. You can check out my Do Hard Things music podcast, my music playlist. I upload tracks. I upload songs there all the time, and it's music that I listen to when I'm out running, and it's a nice sort of genre blend. I was going to say gender. Ugh, I cannot speak. It's a nice blend of all the different genres of music. So there's everything in this. I'm really struggling today in terms of this and the heat. So forgive me. It's a nice blend of all the different types of music if you want to listen to that, which is fine. And if you want to join my running club on Strava, you're more than welcome to do so. It's just a place where you can share your runs that you've done and we can chat about it and encourage each other to do, really wonderful and wholesome things. All my other socials, etc. are in the links down below, so check them out if you wish. You don't need to, it's entirely up to you. And I'll see you next week for hopefully a more productive and more efficient running vlog or running week. So yeah, thank you for bearing with me. I appreciate it. This has been a bit of a trough week, but it will be a peak next week. Or at least that's the hope and the dream. Anyway, my name is Sam. I'll see you later. Go run. Let me know what you're doing. Let me know your running goals and all that. I'll see you next week.